Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I'm Shane, and we are talking shift with Michelle Wolfe. Let me make sure you are unmuted. There we go. How are you doing, Michelle?
Hello. I shift my pants
It's been a,
over the last week.
yeah, it's been
I
a roller
think,
coaster ride. And I
yeah,
didn't know if it was coming down from the trip or what it was, but I don't know. It feels calmer to me now. I was feeling
yeah.
this super excited, like right around the full moon last month. I guess was probably the peak of that excitement I felt around. I guess
hmm
I guess that was the equinox.
Yeah,
Right at that
yeah,
time of the equinox is like
yeah.
sort of this crescendo for me. What about you? You've
Um, well, I really, it kind of stimulation wise, like energy stimulation wise, as far as that fried wire kind of feeling, it definitely, it really peaked for me over the last week. Well, I mean, there was a couple peaks, but uh it was like a slight shift and then peak 3 weeks in a row. I really found, like, I don't know if the wave really, stopped, but really coming with the solstice, it was like a week of, like lift and pushing
yeah.
to the point of overstimulation, right? And then it was like leveled up again, and then another incline with a peak, and then leveled up again. So it's, by the time I'm hitting that third peak, like especially over this last week, it really got quite exhausting,
Yeah.
um because, well, for me, the stimulation in dreams is what is really been going on, that I finally got a break from the last couple days. You're still having the dreams, but not the like pressure. It got so much over the last week. It was really like listening to three different conversations at the same time all night long. Quite
So how'd you
sincerely.
sleep?
I don't know. It's very tiring.
Sort of like when you had the flu
Overstimulated.
and you're like really tired, but you're still not getting the sleep it feels like you need, and it's like you're kind of
The brain pressure and everything was just too much. Actually, what gave me a lot of relief with that, because the pressure was really, up in the crown, getting so much that I had the idea. I have a large amethyst crystal, and it fits perfectly in my hand, and it was right by my bed. And it wasn't a headache. It wasn't like a thump, 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 thump headache. It's just that pressure is so intense. And my neck was like stiff from it too. But I've been placing every day. I've been placing now in my meditation. I've been placing the crystal on my forehead. And I have felt a huge release of the pressure. It was quite immediate when I did it. And the crystal being nice and cold and cool on my forehead, and it just seemed to give it a tap. It's a place to
that's,
go.
and that was an
And
amethyst, you
it
said?
was that's just what I had. I'm sure a lot of different crystals would work. I know a lot of you guys even try, and I have done it before. Just I hadn't done it in a while, and I just, came to me. I was lying there dealing with it, like, wow, this is really intense, and feeling the, vibration and everything, and the earring and popping and clicking, and um and the tightness and pressure in the back of the neck as well, and up in the crown. And so, yeah, I just did it with in the meditation, and it just felt like it allowed the energy to flow cleanly through me. I feel like it's allowed energy to come in, and it's allowed me to release energy as well much more smoothly. So I have been um really setting that intention every single day of making sure I'm um doing hypnosis, meditative hypnosis, to release all this like this energy, or make room, release what I don't need to carry energy wise in my space, in order to bring in so much new energy that is so stimulating. um, so really having to put that in effect every single day, and it's keeping me balanced. I have felt really great and happy and good. Still tired at times, still sore at times. Like it feels like, the heaviness. I think when we get those spikes, the heaviness can kick in the bones, can really sort of feel it for a bit. But I just keep relying on that meditative practice as a continuative process through the day, and I'm maintaining the balance, but still observing at the same time, like, wow, that's overstimulating. Yeah, and the dreams got really very, very intense for a while, and I know with others that have been communicating, friends that I have, or emails that I receive about the dreams, that was really the case for a lot of people, like over the last week. So it just seemed to really peak there quite a bit and get very intense. And I think, and we saw that with the Schumann picking up and increasing, like we were saying, I could see the results of that in people's dreams, I think, and in my own. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it actually, and I've noticed how it's really died off.
It's calmed right down again. So yeah, I'm feeling the relief from it. I do believe so.
Yeah, it's really, we've had a few jolts here and there, but,
Mm-hmm.
and then, of course, we've got the sunspot rolling around facing us, that Mr. MBB. I don't know if you got to see the video he was talking about, but it's, I don't know. It could be a bad one. I guess they could all be a bad one or whatever. But just
Yeah.
it's like primed to shoot off this whole CME thing. It's not a for sure thing, and I'm not trying to like make anybody fearful of it. It's
Yeah.
just exciting for me to see it roll around, and it's like
It is. It's like, I know. It's like spin the bottle.
I mean, that would be a solar flash for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is. It's like spin the bottle, but you can
You're
see
like,
it. It's
oh,
like
oh, oh, where's
right,
it gonna
and then he's
land?
showing how close the positive and the negative are, and they're just right. They're
Yes.
teetering at this point where they're like, right, it just, I don't know. I just get excited about stuff like that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, because you never know when it's gonna pop. And I know we've had some increased uh earthquake warning, with that as well. And then I was going through this morning and seeing that we've had a lot more beachings of whales and dolphins again recently too. I think those things are connected.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so I think it really messes with their whole sonar system too. So yeah,
yeah,
this
yeah. That's
it's
got to be like the
peaking.
poles and the magnetic, just the Earth's magnetic stuff being so jacked up right now, being in the solar minimum and all of that. So
Who knows? There could be, so many things that stimulate and affect them. Like if I think of, how much that I'm feeling frazzled and vertigo and everything, when I've been used to just working with these five senses to get around in this world. I can't imagine, to be a conscious creature, such as a whale or a dolphin, um, where their senses are so, even like so plugged in to the pulses and electromagnetics and the frequencies and the sounds and the earth and the sky, everything that they use to tune in and navigate, and yeah, navigate their reality. It just must be getting such a hit if
I'm glad you said
we're
that.
feeling like this.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I think there's a mechanism within the brain, these cells that respond to to just the magnetics of the Earth, that even that we have, but we just don't like hone in on it like some of the other animals or whatever. And Case and I were discussing this from Everyday Masters. He was on Saturday, and we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about how we were both really naturally good at sort of knowing our direction, well, even if the sun's not out, just kind
Me
of having this.
too. Yeah.
But as of late, it's been like failing us a little bit. We've been having to just, I don't know, just not having that natural sense of direction that we normally
Right.
have. and it's
Right.
just kind of been disrupted as of late. So I was just going to put that out there. If anybody else has noticed that too, like if if you're good about getting back on track, if you get lost, and I guess with GPS these days people don't do
Right.
that too much, but if you kind of have an idea of how to get back to where you need to go and you don't really trip off of it too much, but then lately it's like, man, I've been getting lost. I
Yeah.
think that could be
I haven't
something
had
going
the
on.
opportunity to get lost. Simply, I haven't been moving around, just being here in the house. So I haven't been out and about that much.
Yeah,
So I haven't had the opportunity to figure out if that's been the case for me. But you certainly have as well with your trip. So you would notice that. And you'd notice those differences. Even I wonder if going into the energy and the vortexes and different things, if that kind of spins you around, put the
yeah,
blindfold on, spin you around and
that's probably
yeah.
pretty similar to what's going on there, huh? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
could totally see that.
yeah. And I definitely feeling that vertigo kick in lately, like just quite swooning. Whoosh. Really kicks in. So it's got to affect all of that. Yeah. And I think
Yeah,
that's what's happening with, the aquatic animals getting beached and that. I'm curious to see as spring comes out and the animals come out and we see them more too. I know Mr. MBB did so much tracking last year with the animals and odd animal behavior. So I'm really curious what we'll see this year because I'm certain it'll continue.
yeah, where animals were like going in and going up to the counter and stuff like a
Yeah,
customer
using the
just.
phone, calling a cab, just like random stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some really strange stuff though, like that. Like I don't know. I saw one. I guess it was a viral video going around, and this lion, like huge. He like gets into the tourist kind of cart thing. It was
Yeah.
kind of like a golf cart but longer. And I thought he was like attacking the tourists or whatever, but he looked like a gigantic cat, and he's like rubbing his face on the side, and they're like, everybody's got their phones out and stuff, but just like a big house cat, though. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? As sweet as can be, but humongous. I
You
mean, the
might, yeah.
mouth. It was so weird because the mouth like rubbed on the side, and it like lifted it up, and you could see these huge fangs like the side. I'm like, oh my god, dude, that's crazy. What if it just flips out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when do you know, like when you go from toy to tasty treat? Like it could be like a second. Oh, you smell nice. Hunk.
Right.
Like I don't
But it
know.
must have been some place where they were raised around humans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
But you never know. Lion's a lion. Always remember that.
And a
That
wolf
old.
is a wolf.
Yeah, wolf is a wolf. Yeah, snake is a snake. Yeah. So something tells you what they are. You best pay attention. Well, this has been a hard lesson learned.
Yeah, that GPK is talking about the halos around the sun and
Yeah.
even the moon at night. I've noticed them a whole lot more than usual. I'm noticing all sorts of weird things in the sky. Just I don't know. The other day
Yeah.
it was a white background sky with like clouds. It looked like it should have been a blue cloudy day,
Yes.
but there was these
You're like, is
big.
that what are we trying to show here? I look at it. I know Mom and I are debating it all the time. We're just standing and looking at out the windows with perplexed faces, and it's so random here. It's like you get one day where it's just blue sky. There's nothing, and we've had a few days like those are like actual normal clouds. Cute, nice little clouds, and it'll be a normal day, but then right at sunset they come out and then it's all bing 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 bing, and there they go and you can't ever see a clear sunset. It's just muck. But then there's been other days now where it's like white. I don't know, you can't decide what blue you're going to be. You can't decide if you're going to be blue or if it's going to be like hazy. Is that hazy or is it sky?
Yeah,
And yeah, and the multiple layers of the clouds too, so it can be
yeah,
very
you get some really
confusing.
weird. Yeah,
And why they're doing the chemtrails certain days and not other days. And it absolutely tracks along with the sun. And I'm definitely seeing that here. It's good to see it in a few, couple different moves that I've had in the last few years since I've been watching these things. So now coming here, I'm seeing, okay, I can see a different aspect of the sunset and the sunrise and the habits of the trails and when they're doing them. And they really seem to track across the sun. They want to cover that. And um I'm really leaning personally, I'm leaning towards the fact that they do use a sun simulator sometimes, not all the time, but I think that they use it in order to hide uh, other objects that are eclipsing the sun, that we're getting these eclipses. But the other interesting I've seen lately by Blue Kool-Aid and Jeff P and WSO is the reality, are we actually getting cracks in the reality? There's a lot of new videos out there, great stuff, and I've seen it myself and wondered about this. I've saw it in Cambridge a few times, so I have seen what these other people are videotaping and sending pictures of, which was, it looks like a shadow. It's like a dark line just cuts across, and then the chemtrail plane comes out and fills this line, like fills it in, goes in where this track already is, and it looks like a like a dark shadow line, and it goes in and fills it. So there's a lot of questions about what they're doing. So what a few of these guys are proposing is more and more evidence in regards to these like cracks in the illusion, the cracks, these this is the fracturing of the matrix that they're literally trying to fill in. So I don't, that's a newer interesting thing, I'm still looking into myself, but I do believe that there are objects eclipsing the light, and there's other planetary objects going on, and um I think that these chemtrails serve a couple purposes in regards to hiding it or creating an illusion or creating a screen on the sky, um, for multiple reasons. And also, as well, could be to dampen these cosmic rays coming in, right? Or to affect the cosmic rays and the energies that are coming in.
Yeah,
But,
I'm thinking probably all of the above.
mm-hmm.
And then it depends what perspective you're looking at it from. So if it's the very top, they might have more of a nefarious reason for it. But at the level of the pilots, they might have more of this patriotic reasoning for doing it. You're saving the world, or you know what I'm saying. There's so many
Yeah.
levels of the onion to view things from that I'm like, I don't know. It
Yeah.
depends on who you're viewing it from or how
Well, the
you're
other
viewing
weird
it.
thing
You know?
is when you say, when you mention pilots, um, what's interesting for me is even on some videotapes that I've gotten where I'm looking at it in the sky, like right above me. And it was specifically one of those times where it's like a black shadow line. And then the plane comes in and goes right along this track to fill it. And I was watching this happen right above me. And as I'm looking at it with my own eyes, I can see the plane. But when I videotape it and I go back and I look at the videotape, there's no plane. No plane. I don't know. So, and I've seen a couple others like that. You can't see, like maybe there's like a little circle with the plume, and then the plumes just go out
Yeah,
behind
so
it.
it gives it the appearance like it's some kind of orb or something
And
doing it.
maybe you can see like something, but not, it's not the plane that I saw with my eyes. But like you mostly just see the plume, like you can clearly see the plume, but and I and I know for myself I could clearly see it with my eyes, but it didn't show up on the video camera. So is that part of an illusion there too? I don't know. I think that their illusion technology is far beyond um yeah, what we realize. So
I
and
think
it's got
it's
a lot to do with why all that muck is up there.
yeah, I think it's all exciting to look at, but I don't really feel like it's anything to worry about.
No, it's exciting to see it crumble apart and
Yeah,
demystify, you know. And the reason they get away with it is because people don't want to listen to crazy talk. Well, that just sounds like crazy talk. But there's more and more information out there, and the evidence is there.
and
So,
it's strange because it seems like a single world when you see the how things are being sprayed and how it doesn't seem to go by country and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It seems to be like all over. Like,
yeah, and why some days and not other days.
yeah,
Yeah, but I definitely noticed that they hide the horizons. They muck up the horizons where the sun sets and rises, and they muck up where it tracks along in the sky. Um, at least for here. But I think that when you get to like Alaska and stuff, they can't do that as well. They're not able to do as good of a job, and that's why a lot of these Alaskan webcams, they pick up they're able to pick up these objects. And there's a lot of videos and webcam information in regards to these eclipses. You're seeing times like 9:30 in the morning and it's pitch black out. And in Europe, one of this has happened several times. So I think it's picking up in places that, whether it's the sun simulator or the chemtrails or whatever, aren't quite able to hide it on those days and those places. But that's picking up more and more. I don't think that they can keep up with it. They can't keep up with it forever, and it's starting to show. Mm-hmm.
Exciting times as the veil falls. Yeah, we're talking about truth being revealed, the cracks in our reality or our perceived reality dropping by the wayside. And I don't know. I think, when you look at apocalypse, the true meaning of it, this revealing, this unveiling, that's really what it means. It doesn't mean the total destruction of the planet like people use that word in that way. Like, it's the apocalypse, it's the destruction, but it's really the revealing. It's like, hey,
the end. Dun, dun, dun.
Right, but it's really more of a revealing of something.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, the revealing of the fact that it's not the end, you're infinite. Yay!
Right. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. Your infinite expansion, ready to, take on the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's time to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, it's I guess the man behind the curtain popping out and saying, "Hey, we were just joking."
Yeah, that's so funny. The last 2 days, I can't get the Wizard of Oz out of my head. The song, in the Grand, it just keeps playing. Tra la la. I'm like, I don't even. That's not even. I don't. It just keeps playing over and over.
The part where they're dancing around on the Yellow Brick Road part, or what part? What?
In the merry old land of Oz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
How we pass the day away in the merry old land of Oz. It just keeps going through my head. Like the skipping tra la 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 la. Like, what is going on? It's just so random. Yeah.
Or is it? I don't know. I've been getting songs pop in my head, and when that happens now, I'm like, wait a minute, why did that just pop in my head? I didn't hear anyone playing it earlier, and I'm like sitting there thinking, and I'm like, this is being delivered to me. It's like,
it's like singing it to me.
It's the next level of synchronicity. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It is getting next level synchronicity. It is. It's starting to freak mom out a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, she gets.
Everybody's noticing the synchronicities now.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody that before thought that acted like I was crazy, they're like seeing them now, and
it's just so normal in my world.
Yeah,
it really is. I'm like, yeah, that's how it works. Like it's.
So I think the cracks are appearing. People are starting to notice things.
Yeah, they are. She's gonna do.
What's cool though is like we've been seen as weird for so long that it's like. Finally, people are going to remember us. You're like, oh, well, there was somebody else that was going on and on about this. I need to call them up because now it's happening to me. So, expect
you never,
be called upon.
You never know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be ready. I'll just keep put my neck out there. Just keep put my neck out there every week with you.
Yeah, that's, I hear so many stories like Diane and Austin who, she's looked at as crazy in the family until they need somebody, when they need a healing or they need something, then all of a sudden it's like, she's not so crazy anymore,
Yeah, it does come back around. And I think more and more people, you leave an open place. I think it's quite surprising. It will continue to be surprising that even those that you think may be really stuck in their ways, you never know what situations can happen to wake those people up and leave them in a vulnerable position where they start to ask those questions again and look at how to move through those. So you never know, and it could be very surprising. Who could come to you when you least expect it.
Yeah. But I guess
so
that's
keep that in mind. And don't look too shocked when they do. Try not to be like, did you get hit on the head? So
In
take it in
these days, you
stride.
feel like did I shift? I must have
Yeah.
shifted into another reality. They're not themselves today.
Yeah, I got mom in the kitchen the other just rocking, going, time? I started laughing. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't- I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at your your download. Because I know exactly what's going on. I know what's going on. She doesn't think I know what's going on, I think, when she's going through it, but I know, and I can see that she's getting like picture after picture. And now process this memory. Now process this memory. Now process this memory. And it's all
That's
coming up. And
hilarious. You
she's
walk in the
just like,
kitchen, she's like sitting there.
just rocking, going, what is going on?
Time.
And she just goes, time? Like that's all she could get out. I'm like, oh, I know, mom, it's okay. you'll be you'll be okay. It's okay. She's like, I don't know. Because she's really, I've told her, listen, you start to ask the questions, you're gonna get the answers.
Yeah.
So you want to ask these questions, then set the intention, ask the questions, you're going to get the answers. I don't think she's expecting the answers to come in so strongly like they are, to show how much this reality is an illusion, how much we're working outside of this consciousness here, that we really are
Yeah.
working in tandem with this higher consciousness, taps in and has access to so much more than we do, right? So she's really seeing the evidence of it, so it comes up, right? And I already know, I'm expecting, like, it's not a surprise to me. I know these things are going to come up, but it's just, yeah, she's just really trying to work these things out.
I think that's so fun and exciting.
It is fun and exciting, and I'm glad she's not here by herself doing it. Yeah, yeah, I'm glad. And I have to think too, I mean, when bringing my energy in and being so focused on the process every single day, it's kind of like plugging in another light bulb into the house and turning it on. And so I know she's gonna get hit with that influence as well too. And I think really seeing the evidence of that. So, but it's entertaining at times for me. I'm laughing at my poor mom's expense. So,
No, I
but
mean you're actually making me think of how far I've come with with dealing with things in a fearful way, and because I don't know, I think religion sort of just sets you up to be kind of scared of everything. You know what I mean?
yes,
Like
that's it.
it,
Hmm.
because I think a lot of that stemmed from that, and when that sort of fell away, just that whole belief structure of
Yes,
feeling like the
foundation.
victim or something's out to get you all the time or whatever, you just start to view things a lot differently, and you don't jump on the oh my god, this is scary bandwagon like by default. Seems like
Yeah,
that happens a lot, you know, and
yeah. It's like it
because
works. You're taking the foundation out from under your feet.
yeah,
Of how things work in bigger and bigger chunks and layers.
yeah,
Just when you think you got, oh, okay, well, it's not really that. It's like more gets taken out from under your feet, more gets taken out.
yeah.
And that could be scary. Like all of a sudden you're just standing over open air, like, and you, you just don't know how to function in that.
Well, you got to
It's,
imagine, you got to realize that like from the time I was learning to walk and talk and everything, I was told that there's this demonic war going on and that demons are out to get you and there could be a demonic attack and things like this. So it was had a very tilted view of everything. It's hard to sort of unwire your brain that way. You know what I mean? So of course anything that's out of the normal, you're like demons. So
but
I
that
get
stuff
it
gets
when
in your
people say that.
bones. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like a foundational, like I think that's it. I think it's peeling back the memories in your literally in your bones right now of that kind of stuff. I think that's really what's lifting up right now, and why we can sometimes feel it in our bones, because I
yeah,
think it's clearing our cellular memory. It's clearing that away, what we're holding in our bodies of how things are and what you're supposed to be afraid of, um and how things work. So when that gets stripped away, and
yeah.
sometimes very quickly, it can be really disconcerting. Yeah. And even I think we really, and that's when we can feel it physically too in our bodies. And often those physical symptoms can go with those times of peeling those layers back. But yeah, when you've been taught you always have to fight a battle, and all of a sudden they're like, no, you don't have to fight like that anymore. You don't want to really put your sword down. Like, I don't know. I might need it. That's a really nice thought and everything, but oh, wait till the demons come.
Yeah.
You're seeing the back at like it's hard to get that out of
Yeah.
the foundation of who you are.
Yeah, I think for me it helps looking back. It helps for me to look back at the times when I thought things were a certain way, and then I can see them completely differently now. Even bad experiences I could see as really important experiences for getting me to where I am right now. So just viewing all that, everything seems so orchestrated and planned, hindsight, looking at it that way, that it makes me feel like moving forward, I don't really have to live in fear about anything. It's just things are going to unfold like they're going to, and I'm going to get to experience it, and I might as well enjoy it. So
Yeah, what's really come strongly to me, um, over the last few months has really been the idea um, that of experiencing what you are not in order to know what you are,
yeah,
and what that means on different levels, and releasing judgment over yourself or your experience or thinking or doing things a different way for where, you've come around to full circle, and those shadows and experiences and even behaviors that we exhibit that we've come around from. It's not something to be ashamed of at all. It's just part of that process of understanding what you're not by experiencing what you're not, to say that's not what I am.
yeah. It's all
No,
about
I'm
know
not. No, I'm
thyself.
not that. I'm not that. I am something else, and to come to a real knowing. So, sometimes we have to experience those darker sides of ourselves in the process to come back. That's the big journey. That's the big hero's journey, is to come back around to the light, you know.
Yeah, that's so funny when I looked at that whole hero's journey thing, and you can like almost not only like follow every great movie by it, but even like every great story, like whether it's Jesus or your own life. You can see your own life how it's played out that way. Like you had the sidekick, and then all of a sudden you're taking the journey alone, and then you get into this deep darkest part and all of this, and it's like we all want to emerge and be the hero in the end. So it's like that's where we're
Yeah.
at. You know what I mean? It's like trying to become that full
But that
hero.
greater aspect of
Yeah.
us as well wants to experience all of those different roles. I'm glad you brought that up, because when I talk about the dream stimulation that I've received like over the last week, and um really what all this information has been about, that and drilling it in me over and over, is just going over all these archetypes and how they play in stories and how I construct this in dream. And I can see, and it's like plugging into each different archetype and pulling it out and understanding the role that it plays in this grander story. And so I think the higher self of us has experienced all these different roles in our quest to like come back around to that completion, you know. And that's why I've always liked the tarot deck too. In archetypes, you start with the pure, the fool's journey, and it progresses through those archetypes in the journey, and understanding how that works and understanding how that plays out in your life. But this it was really getting very detailed information. Like, it was really getting reiterated over and over in the dreams, that this energy is stimulating this ability to create realities. It's through this greater understanding of story archetypes, constructing these realities. It's really shown me this breakdown, um, in understanding, I think, this fourth reality ability to construct realities, and how these different roles and how they play, and how you can pull them in and to create your own story that works for you. And it really kind of hit a crescendo, like really peaked, where I was saying to Shane, before we got on, that I really felt like I was listening to three conversations at the same time, like for hours through my dream state. I've got three different conversations, dialogues going on in communication to understanding the information that I'm receiving. So it was very, very tiring, but it all focused so intently on these archetypes, these characters, these stories, these constructions, the realities, and how to do it and how to manipulate it. The fact that it's, being an architect in that, and that this energy comes in. And I think it's honing these manifestations to skills, because when this energy comes in and activates the crystalline DNA that we've been building up, this is where that switch over, all those tools, all that information that we've been learning in the dreams is going to transition in such a magical way into your physical reality, and we're really going to be able to carry that over in a way. But I felt like I was crashing for like an exam. That's like exhausted. Like I was up all night drinking coffee and like crashing. Okay, remember this, and then this, and then this. Three different teachers talking to me at the same time. That's how much it was. So there's a lot going on there. I really believe that. I believe that it's in preparation for some energy that we've got coming in. Um, Again, that it's going to accelerate this manifestation ability of being an architect of your own reality, and understanding how you construct it, how it works, how the gears shift, how you can maneuver through it and put the light into it to really create that new earth,
So
create that.
when you were talking about the tarot deck, were you referring to it in the way that the Law of One does, or in the way of like using it as a divination tool?
I used to use it as a divination tool for many years, but I actually haven't been using. I still like them and appreciate them. The same desires don't drive me as far as need to know future results. I'm much more internal as far as getting my answers now. I don't personally feel the need myself to use the cards so much anymore, but they are a great divination tool. They really are. They work through synchronicity, much like everything else does that communicates to us.
No, but
And
I meant
sorry.
with the actual Law of One, they use the tarot deck to explain what you're talking about, and it almost sounded like you were referring
I don't
back
know if
to.
I've read that material then. I mean, I've read a lot of the Law
Oh,
One,
okay.
but I don't remember them. I don't remember the specific information about
Yeah,
tarot.
towards the end, they were using the different pictures to explain different concepts about it. It sounded like what you were talking about. I always wanted to get more into that because just going through it, it's like one of those things you can't just go through it and really get it the first time. You have to really like go study each image they're talking
Tarot?
about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
this
spent a
specific
lot of
deck
time,
that, yeah,
no, to come to a deeper understanding really of what each card is, which is a place in the story and a place in the journey, right?
right.
And the push and pull and the dynamics and understanding that. Um yeah, that's what it's all about. That's probably why I was drawn to tarot like I was, and have been drawn to the archetypes. Researching archetypes before I even got to the tarot. So, and I'm sure I had a deeper understanding that that's how things work. So it was very easy for me to tap into the tarot. Yes, because it really is a breakdown of exactly that. Those pieces and components and characters and roles that we play, and the times and the forks in the road and different
That would
influences and what they are. And
that would be
mhm.
cool to do a segment like where we break down. I think there was 24 images or 24 cards in the original
Yeah,
Law of one,
yeah,
but to maybe view it,
yeah.
give a commentary on what we
Well,
think it
yeah,
is,
we
hear
could do
what the
that.
Law of One says about it. I think that'd
Yeah.
be really cool because it actually beyond just as a divination tool, it's actually information of a better understanding of our reality and stuff. So that's really the aspect of it that I wanted to explore deeper. But be
Yeah,
cool because I'm
I
sure
would
everybody
love
would
to do
enjoy
that
that.
with you too,
Yeah,
because
that'd be
I
cool.
love the stories. I mean, and for me, tarot just really obviously because it's the artwork, it's the pictures, right? And it's that stimulation. And and I've always read, like I would read everything when I was a kid, like onwards. I loved stories. That had everything to put me in. So yeah, maybe it's time for me to start. I haven't held the deck in my hands for a few months, so maybe it's time to do that again. We've just been
Yeah,
tuning in so much in here and just listening in here as opposed to just asking questions and putting them out on the table. It's just been a very internal thing lately. So,
that's cool. So you want to pull a card today for the group?
oh, I'd have to pull them out and everything. We'll do it next week. I'll be
Oh, okay,
prepared.
okay.
I'll be prepared. I'll pull three
Excellent.
cards for you guys next week. How about I do that?
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so with we were talking about the algorithm earlier. I figured we'd bring this up because we have a lot of YouTubers here.
Yeah.
That just the whole YouTube algorithm seems to have caused a screeching halt to the channel growth and the views and all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Big
So
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
I see several other YouTubers here. So have you guys noticed a halt in your growth? Because
Yeah, it was pretty much like right away when they said, "Oh, they're doing the algorithms." It was like the next day when everybody else was like reporting, "Oh, yeah, they're doing the." It was. I'm like, I noticed it in that first. I'm like, well, maybe it's just no. Literally, like the analytics just go from like here to like. But that's okay. I'm okay with it. I put into that when I have something, and I'm so happy with what we do together every week, and I can feel good about that in a contribution.
yeah,
So,
and people expect us here, so I never really worry about that either. And
mhm,
with the
mhm,
one video that I just put out that did really well, it was people sharing it around. See, there's ways to get beyond the algorithm suppression
yeah,
when people share stuff and they
yeah,
retweet it or post it or whatever, and then it gets around that way. So
mhm.
I don't ever really worry about it. Or it just happen to pop up as a suggested video for somebody if they need to watch it. So
Yeah, I think they just
it's cool.
I think a lot of stuff it's just not getting suggested anymore. I think that's comes up with a lot like with the algorithm change. So it's just not getting a lot of people are dealing with their videos not getting suggested, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, which must be really, really frustrating for a lot of people that, are putting in the kind of work that they do daily. I really step back myself for a bit just to kind of go in with this process and the change and readjust and recalibrate and everything else. I'm good with that. But it must be, yeah, really frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I noticed that, when that video did get shared around, people found me again that had subscribed before and they said they had to resubscribe. So
Mm-hmm.
there is some
Mm-hmm.
fishy stuff going around, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know that there's much you can do about it other than just keep on trucking and trust that it's going to get handled.
Yeah. Hopefully. It's what you focus on, right?
Yeah.
So, the fact is that I haven't been focused on it. So, is it the algorithms or is it my lack of focus? So, for me personally, right? Which is again, I'm okay because if I really cared, then I would be focusing on it. I've just been focusing on I do, what grabs me at that time. Plus the internet capable. I can't do my live streams anymore. That's kind of a downer. I think that's kind of an easier way for me to communicate more one on one or get the messages out that I would want to get out in a positive way, as opposed to focusing on, too much political stuff or whatever. I just don't have no desire to do those videos anymore.
Yeah, well, Scream Engine saying that they didn't get the notification for this show, so I've been noticing that too. You can have the bell ticked and everything, which you should get
Yeah.
a notification if someone's going live. But
Yeah. Yeah. I see that a lot too. Oh, well. Karma, baby. Goes around, comes around, YouTube. Yeah, you'll be a dying dinosaur someday. Mhm.
so, what kind of outlook do you think we have looking forward? You think things are going to get calmer as we move away from the equinox, or
For me, for I'm no, I don't think things are gonna get calmer. In general, I think we're in it to win it now.
yeah,
It's really coming in. Sorry, I'm just looking at my calendar, not randomly staring off into nothing. Sorry. But we got Good Friday, Easter, Earth Day, coming up, and I anticipate that energy coming in really strongly. And it really came into me April 1st. This white pure energy. I talked about it last week, and I really think it was preemptive for this month. And I think a lot of us may experience a real uptake in that Christ consciousness energy really coming in. And, with being Good Friday and Easter and focus on Christ. And I really feel strongly that we're going to see results of that energy or feel results of that energy coming in. I think if we're experiencing energy waves, like a real, I do anticipate that around Easter. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think that's
do.
a good time too. Yeah,
Hmm.
a lot of
And then,
focus on
and then, I've,
Christ and
yeah. And then
yeah.
for me, I've got my trip to Sedona after, so I'll be flying in a vortex. So I'll see what, yeah. It's like put it all in a blender and spin. Let's see what happens. Right? Just throw it all in there, put her in a Sedona, put her in a vortex, and let's see what happens. Yeah. Mm,
So yeah, I bet you're excited about that. Are you guys gonna
I
do
am.
lots of hiking?
We are. We're gonna. We have some hiking we're gonna do. Some swimming or sliding we're gonna do. We have the conference we're gonna do. We have Travis's birthday that we're gonna do. So, and yeah, we're really excited. We're all really excited. Renee, Phoenix, little Phoenix is coming. So Renee, Travis, and Tyler and myself so far. So and see who drops in. I have gotten sorry if I haven't gotten back to a couple of emails. I want to check in with the other uh people that I'm going with, especially with Travis's birthday being part with that. And I know that we have the convention. I think that if anybody does want to get together, I know that the Sandra Walters convention that we are going to be at that on the Saturday and then for the afternoon and the Sunday. So maybe we'll talk about something on the Sunday around that event. But I want to check in with them too to see. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to make it out or not. I know you had that big drive already. I didn't realize it was an 18-hour drive for you.
Yeah,
So yeah, but
it might be a little too soon to try to do that again.
yeah.
That's
So
funny. You were
for
talking about
anybody,
flying through the
mhm.
vortexes and getting blendered up, and someone said he would be a Michelle smoothie.
Smooth in a whole new way. Awesome.
The Roots and
Yeah.
Branch Homestead said that. That's funny.
So good news that Sri is out of the hospital and feeling
Yeah,
feeling much better.
yeah, he
Um,
looks good too.
he does. Yeah, they've done a video and he's out there. So that was just really great news. What a quick recovery. I think it really does show you a miracle. Like that was, I think they gave him like 20-25% to live, and here he is doing a show a week later.
Yeah,
So prayers work. They really do. Yeah. So that
it's a
was
time
really
of
good
miracles.
news.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people were heard about that and we're putting energy into this one. Make sure we brought that up and say we're all really happy to see that he's recovered. Hmm.
yeah, it's tough when something so unexpected pops in on you like that.
I love their attitude about it too. It allowed for an opportunity for all to see a miracle unfold. That's
Hmm.
yeah, that's a great way to be, and that allows for miracles to happen. That's the mentality that allows those miracles to take place. It's on the giving and receiving end. It goes both ways. Their mentality into to reveal in a revealing a miracle experience for others to grow and receive that miracle experience and allow that energy to be received. It's a two-way equation. So all the prayers that people were putting their way really does create miracles,
Yeah,
but the honesty in their intentions as soul beings, to show evidence of as God miracles is what really ties it all in and makes the magic happen. Hmm.
yeah. Jen Fisher, back to Sedona. The Bell Rock Vortex is very
Yeah,
strong, and that's the one that I
Travis said
said I
we're going to
noticed.
go to that. I wrote
Yeah,
it
and
down. Oh, I wrote
Eileen
it down.
had a wonderful
Cathedral
experience.
Rock and Bell Rock. Cathedral
Yeah,
Rock and Bell Rock. Yeah,
both of those were great.
yeah. Eileen had an experience.
Eileen said
Yeah.
years ago she had a great experience at Bell Rock, and then Lauren Hanson,
Mm-hmm.
she I think had some kind of clearing or something when she went up there. So
Wow.
very cool.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm trying not to be overexcited. I'm like, it's because you know what? The time flies so fast. Like I can't believe it's already, you know, It's
You're
gonna
almost
be here
halfway
so
there.
quickly. Almost, yeah, almost there. I'll be on the plane before I know it. So yeah, I'm just super. I'm so excited to see family too. To see, um, friends that I've made in this community. Hi, Zoe. Here she came to say hello. Friends that I've seen in this community, actually be able to make, real contact with them, get those hugs. You say hi, Zoe.
Hey, Zoe.
Hi, Zoe. She's always got to say hello. Hey, I know. She's trying to convince me into packing her in the suitcase to go with me. But I told her she's too big. She thinks she's still small like Archer. No, you're too big. So,
Well, that's excellent. Well, let's see. What we got about 10 minutes to the top of the
yeah.
hour. Anything going on with you with just in
With
specific with your channel or with dreams or anything you want to talk about?
you know what? I finally just got that reprieve the last 2 days. So really, yeah, it was about the fever pitch. I know that there's a lot going on with that. So
Do
just
you think it
I think that
was?
transition.
Do you
Hmm?
think you were mentioning like hearing three people talking, getting all this information at one time? Do you think it's just something that's going to get integrated over time, or you think it's in there and you just
Oh,
wouldn't
it's in
consciously
there.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, I was getting integrated. Like I really felt because I was getting the visuals along with receiving the information, viewing myself receiving the information, viewing myself um getting activation. So actually seeing like superimposed images, like superimposed conversations or information and superimposed images, um where showing the activations, like in understanding the concepts, then I'm showing that this energy is like more than once, like I said
Mm-hmm.
last week, where these crystals are getting activated or energy is getting activated. So I'm like seeing superimposes images of as information comes in and activations occurring as well. And not just once, and then the next night and then the next night. So, and seeing that same process relayed like on myself, and then seeing it like on a person or a character in a dream or a situation, and it's just like pushing and pulling all these things like toffee, and being like, here, look at this, Michelle, now this is what this is, and this is what happens with this. And then I'm seeing like overlays of information. Then I see the energy come in, and then I see the greater understanding happening.
Right.
And so I'm listening to that conversation as my like as I'm having my own internal conversation. And then I'm also aware of the consciousness that's outside of the dream and higher consciousness state, which is aware that I'm in my bed sleeping. So yeah, it really has melded. It really did meld to the point where it got too much 2 days ago. It just got too much. Um,
Do you feel like any prophetic stuff was mixed in there? Of course, I mean you first came on this show for those that don't know
yeah,
because you get prophetic dreams from time to time and always have since you were like a
yeah,
teenager or something, right?
yeah, and yeah, waiting for those. With these scenarios, no. So when the prophetic dreams happen, it's like watching a movie. It like goes on all night, and I like watch a whole story, and I walk through every single aspect of this story, and it's completely vivid, and it's repeated. It doesn't just happen once. Like with the event dreams, it's like a epic saga that I go through and experience.
Is
And
each time okay? So when you say you go through it more than once, it would be in a different night. You'd have the same dream.
yeah, yeah. But I like for the event dreams, I had them from like 2012 to like 2015. But then things changed. Then it became energy dreams. Like I still get precognitive stuff. Like I'll get flashes of little scenarios, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff is like A lot of stuff comes back around. I have been noticing, which isn't a surprise, but I've noticed the images popping up lately from dreams like maybe 2 years ago, because I'll find when I have situational or spatial changes,
Hmm.
like changes of job or moving, then I'll have like a spur of those dreams that I could have had like a couple years ago, and then all of a sudden I'll find them like popping into place. That thing that didn't make sense like 2 years ago. Why would I be doing that in that scenario? And then all of a
Uh,
sudden I'm doing it, and I'm like, oh, oh, that's what that was. And all of a sudden I get it. So a lot of those will pop up usually around like transitional times uh of spatial transition, um or job transition, and which so I am like with moving here at the beginning of this spring. I did get a spurt of them recently, like with the equinox coming in up until recently. So where those images have been overplaying, I haven't paid as much attention to them because um, they're not the only show going on anymore like they used to be. That used to be like, the only information kind of that you're like, whoa.
right, right.
And right. But that's not the only show in town now. I'm getting information from so many other things. But um, I'm missing my movies in dreams. I'm missing my playtime in dreams over like the last bit, because it just has picked up so much. And it's just like a crash course. Like I'm watching slideshow after slideshow and getting information after information. I may go in, run in, do a short scenario, and then I'm pulled back out, and then it's getting picked apart, and this person and showing me the characters, showing me the energy. And
Like intense
so
training, it sounds like.
very intense training. If not one night, like night after night after night, it really did get a lot. So
So
I
I
was
wonder
like,
how
I'm
many of us have those,
done.
but we just don't remember them because there's been times when I woke up feeling like I did what you just said, but I don't have
Mm-hmm.
any memory of anything intense
Mm-hmm.
training. But I sure felt like I'd been in a deep surgery or worked all night when I should have felt rested or something.
Yeah. It's well, when I'm coming out of it too, like when waking up, that's like the ringing in the ears is really loud in those situations. Vertigo's really bad. There's like even distortion in vision, like almost staticky, or things can sort of move a little bit like this. Um, because I really think I'm like jumping out of reality. It's as crazy as that sounds, or something like something's going on where when I'm coming out awake, like I'm not totally connected. I'm still functioning in another level. So I'm viewing things in a multiple ways. So I'm coming back in this sensory 3D thing is like, it's like jolting like a robot short circuiting, like
Yeah.
what is going on?
I've come
um,
back with the buzzing, so I know
yeah.
kind of what you're talking about, where it's like you're still
Hmm.
zinging from something.
I have been getting the heat in the feet again. So at the beginning of this month, and this energy too, the energy coming in, it's actually very warm. As opposed to like last month, I found the energy I was receiving was very cold. But I'm finding this is very stimulating. We're actually like heating up the bottom of my feet. With the energy, the two energy pads on the bottom there, and it's like heating up. So I've been noticing that as a difference too,
That's
just to
funny
throw
you
that
said
out.
that because twice now I've got a hug from a family member, and they're like, "Wow, you feel hot, Dad," or
You're
whatever.
hot.
Like,
That's stuff. Yeah. Yeah, warming up as opposed to last month, where it was like I would the energy would like feel cold inside my body. It
yeah.
was like, I was feeling like ice, not cold in the same way that, well, like, oh, I'm really cold, I feel like ice inside. No, it really felt like um certain organs were chilled. Yeah. So as opposed to this seems to be more heat activated. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever felt movement in your face, like
Mm-hmm.
in your?
That has picked up. Yeah, I appreciate
What
you
do you?
guys asking questions. It really
What is
helps
that
me to come
about?
up
What
with
do you
stuff.
think that's about? If you feel like
The
it's like
changes
your
in
skin's
frequency.
crawling or something.
Changes in frequency. And what I saw recently over the last week, I'm glad you guys brought it up. And I think it was Everyday Masters. I think I saw it on his channel when he was talking about doing Reiki. and the frequencies, and you can see the twitching in the face, the eyes twitching,
Yeah, yeah.
and the twitching, and we're adjusting the frequencies. I'm
Because
really
I've gotten a little
noticing
bit of that.
a lot of stimulation or movement with energy within the face. Like I'm
Yeah.
feeling it move around, and it's like sonars moving around, and it can cause twitching, eye fluttering,
And it almost feels like you should
brushing.
be able to see in the mirror and see it moving, but you
I
can't. It's
imagine you
not.
will. Well, if your eyes are closed and you're lying, I find it happens. Like when I'm going into that, as soon as I start going into the higher frequency of meditated state, I
Yeah.
will start get the twitching. But I do when getting the activations too. I know like a common thing. I've gone through periods where like for 2 weeks my eyes like twitching, for no reason, right? And then
Yeah.
I think that's activations that we can go through. So, and I think it's releasing stuff, almost like when you're tapping.
Mm-hmm.
You're tapping and you release stuff.
Yeah.
I think sometimes our muscles can twitch and or shake or to release these things. I think that might be like the physical effect of that, and shifting those frequencies and upping that level. But
Awesome.
mm-hmm.
Well, I don't see any more questions. I guess we can wrap this one up for this week and get out and enjoy some of the beautiful weather. Is it beautiful there? Or?
It's rainy today, but I don't mind. It is
Mm-hmm.
spring. So it's like sun and then rain and then sun and the rain, but a little bit by little bit, everything's getting greener here. And that just makes me so happy.
Yeah, we were
So
like
happy.
enjoying the clouds in Sedona, and we were wondering if the vortexes are like cloud busters or something because the sky seemed. I've seen over like Phoenix. I know they're spraying in the area, but
Right.
why wasn't it?
Right.
It just seemed to, I don't know, not accumulate in the sky like it does
Just
sometimes. So.
keeps it. Yeah, probably.
Well,
That
awesome.
energy can bust up a lot of stuff.
So you'll have footage, I guess, to do your video when you get back, your highlight video. We
Yeah,
all
I'll
want to
do
see the
that.
highlight video.
Yeah, I can't make any videos that are very long anymore. It's kind of limited because my uploading time for the internet is horrendous.
What about your cell phone? Do you have cell phone data service?
That would be worse here. That
Oh,
would be
okay.
worse, yeah, than what we have. So it's down. Well, it's just what it is right now. You never know.
I hear
But
you.
I will definitely. I do want to put some stuff together. So maybe I might have to break it down in a few increments. But that's okay.
Or you could do it maybe while you're on Wi-Fi there before you leave. You could
Yeah, I'm
upload some
wondering
stuff.
if I can do that. I miss just doing my own live stream so I can go on and get one-on-one and, answer questions or help people out more directly, but
That'd
I
be
just
cool.
don't it'd be so frustrating. It's just buffering. So until I can figure out something else, I'm kind of stuck on that right now. Mhm.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
it is what it is.
it is what it
Maybe
is.
you
I'm
need
still here
a
with you.
break.
I can do this. And
That's
that's
awesome.
okay. I can do this with you every week and that makes me happy. I'm good with that, you know. So,
Awesome. I'm
yeah.
happy too. So
Yeah.
lots of love to everybody in the chat, and thank
Love
you
you
so much
guys.
for
Thanks so
being here,
much.
Michelle.
Email me if you have any questions at all. I'm happy to help, okay?
Yep, and her
Mhm.
email is on the screen.
Mhm.
wolf.art101@gmail.com. All right, you guys. Peace.
Peace.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.